Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, August 5th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Yes, I need a haircut. Yes, I need a shave. Hopefully next week. Lot to discuss. Lot. Google product reviews update has finished rolling out. I know a lot of you are surprised to hear that so soon. Google has posted some links to best practices and has consolidated the blogger best practices with something else. Mobile first indexing still happening, still migrating sites over to that. Some useful SEO rants. I mean, the list is on and on, so you don't want to miss this one. There's tons to discuss. Definitely watch to the end, and definitely make sure to subscribe and like the video. And also comment. I always appreciate your comments, so let me know. And of course, I'd like to thank our sponsor. Thanks, Bruce Clay. Bruce Clay is one of the founding fathers of the SEO industry, doing search marketing since 1996. Bruce Clay is big into SEO training. Check them out at seotraining.com to learn more about their SEO training services. And of course, check them out at bruceclay.com to look about their other services. Thank you, Bruce Clay, for sponsoring, and I deeply appreciate everything you do for the industry for so many years. Thank you. All right, so the Google product reviews update finished on August 2nd, a few days ago, which is interesting. Google didn't actually post about it on social. They just updated their new Google algorithm updates page to notate that. And we noticed yesterday afternoon, thanks to Neil McCarthy, who was the first to spot this, I believe. And he's like, wait, Google updated it. And now it's done on August 2nd. So it's weird because Google first announced this on July 27th, said this would take 2 to 3 weeks to roll out. Instead, it only took 6 days to roll out. It's like nobody even noticed this for the most part, except for very SEO savvy SEOs. I know Glenn Gay posted some examples and so forth, but Vlad noticed some things, but Vlad Rappaport, I just don't, this is not like a previous product reviews update. When product reviews updates have come out in the past, SEOs took notice. The ranking tools went insane. None of that happened. We did see volatility on the ranking tools around the 3rd, but that was after the second Google product reviews update. That being said, the product reviews update started on July 27th. It looks like it started to click in on July 29th, Friday. That's when like Glenn Gabe, Vlad Rappaport, and others started to notice it. Tools did not pick up on it. And then I wrote a post on August 3rd because I didn't see Google updated that it finished rolling out yet. I don't think they did yet. At least I don't think they actually notated that it was that it finished rolling out on August 3rd, but it finished rolling out on August 2nd. We saw fluctuations on August 3rd, which is probably unrelated to that, or maybe they're tremors. But again, a weird one. Super weird. I haven't seen a product reviews update like this in a long time. Yes, some sites were hit big time. I saw some sites hit 80% of the traffic gone. But it just seems weird. It seems like it didn't do the job it was supposed to do. The search results are not what you would expect after a product reviews update, specifically looking at some examples. I do believe Google is aware of some of these things, but I'm not sure why it rolled out so fast. This is just super weird. So again, wrote a post about it this morning saying that the Google product reviews update is done as of August 2nd. Super weird one, I explained. Then on August 1st, I said that this July product reviews update actually kicked in on that Friday, which was the 29th of July. And then I noticed some ranking changes, so totally separate from the product reviews update on August 3rd. So not sure what's going on, but there's a lot of different things going on. And that product reviews update is done. And something new happened on August 3rd. As you can see, these charts started to spike on August 3rd. So we'll see what's going on with that. Google has consolidated a bunch of links onto a landing page, their content guidelines landing page, and they put a bunch of links there. I think it was updated, actually. Let me just check it quickly live. Yeah, so Google removed some links since I last covered this, specifically the links around best practices for bloggers has been removed. Actually, it was actually consolidated with the overall SEO guidelines. So I took a screenshot and I embedded that bloggers resource, which is not new. It's from probably a couple of years ago. And I had archived that so you could take a look at that. But again, it's just basically Google consolidated a bunch of links on a specific landing page. None of that content is actually new. It's all actually old. But it's interesting to see Google shuffle things around. And because of that, I was able to screenshot that blogger thing. This was spotted actually by Michael Martinez, the new links on that page. So that was interesting to see. 5 years later, Google is still migrating some sites over to the mobile-first indexing process. So it was actually 5 years and like 8 months and several days ago when Google announced that they're starting the mobile first indexing initiative, which everything will be moved over to mobile first indexing. Last November, Google stopped saying we're going to have a deadline for moving sites over. We're just going to move them over as we see fit. But Google had numerous deadlines when they're going to go ahead and say move every single website across the Google's index into the mobile first indexing. That didn't happen. And sites are still moving over. Valentine Pletzer tweeted that he has a site that was moved over on August 3rd to mobile first indexing, which is very interesting. So anyway, if your sites are still moving over, you're not alone. There are definitely sites that are moving over to mobile first indexing, and it's just a blast from the past to actually cover that. Google Search Console's validate fixed feature in the coverage reports has stopped working on purpose. Google said this is changed because of the classification change that they're moving out. Google announced a month or so ago that they are going to go ahead and revise the classifications for the Google Search Console coverage reports to make them a little bit simpler and easier to understand and more direct. And while Google's doing that, Google said they're limiting the functionality. We're making some minor updates in the next few days. During the period, you will not be able to issue new validation requests. So you're not able to hit that validate fix button until this is changed. So keep that in mind. It's not a bug with anything. It's just a feature update which is going to happen. And that has disabled the validate fix until this is resolved. John Mueller had some beautiful SEO rant that I liked. I'm sure a lot of SEOs do not like it, but I kind of liked it. And he basically went ahead and said, do stuff versus just read stuff. So obviously I blog about SEO, I write about SEO, and I want you to read the stuff that I write, but he's right. I mean, it's better for you guys to stop reading some 10 best ways to go ahead and rank better in Google Discover or the 1,500 different ways to go ahead and rank in Google search for your pineapple chair. Those blog posts are great and they're constantly coming out. I don't write those top 10 lists or those, how to do X, Y, and Z types of posts. It's really not about checklists. And John Mueller basically said he's just got back from vacation and he wants to catch up and people asking for SEO tips. And he basically said maybe you should stop reading SEO blogs and instead do something useful for your site and its users. He went on to say, to be fair, I try not to be this snarky, yada, yada, yada. And he basically said, brought to you by another otherwise great site with a passionate owner that has devolved into a trap of 17 best widgets for QWERTY in 2022 with compilations and so forth, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, he says, drop this stuff, jump the fillers, get to the point, don't rehash, make useful things that you're proud of. Use affiliate links if you want to, but don't be an affiliate, be real and be yourself. And 100%. And I think it also comes with writing. I mean, not just for SEO advice, just to read stuff and implement those checklists because it's not going to work for you. You have to do stuff that is real and you have to do stuff that people want to come back to and want to read and love. And it's not easy to do that. And that's the reason I don't provide those top 10 lists because those people are coming, reading those top lists and walking off and going somewhere else. Yes, they get lots of subscribers. They have more subscribers than I do. They get a lot of reads and so forth. But the people like you who are watching this video every single week, the people that are reading my site every single week are the people that are actually implementing high-level strategies based off of stuff that Google's changing on a day-to-day basis. And you can only do that based off experience and doing stuff. And you guys read the stuff and you do stuff. There's a difference between just wanting the fast checklist, and I totally agree with John there. You should know what's changing in Google. You should follow the blogs, yes, but don't look for those 10 best ways to go ahead and rank for Google Discover. It's not going to go ahead and work for you. You're not going to understand what you're doing. You're just going to try to implement it, and it's not going to work. And I liked it. Google has updated how it handles quotes in Google search. Not a ranking change, just a user interface change. Specifically, Google made changes that when you do a search using quotes, Google's going to highlight the part of the page and bold that text that you quoted in the snippet. So in the search result snippet, it's going to highlight that text and say, here on the page is where we found this text. That's good. Google has been testing something called perspectives in Google search. I did ask Google about this. They confirmed they're always testing stuff. They didn't give me any more details. I asked a bunch of questions. They would not answer any of those questions. But basically, here's some screenshots of it. It's basically like a feature snippet, multiple feature snippets. We've seen multiple feature snippets before in terms of cards, in terms of from the web. But Google's testing adding a label on top of certain feature snippets that show more than one feature snippet, which is called a multi-variant or multi-something feature snippets. And they're labeling the perspectives. Some people are seeing them without the labels as well. So definitely take a look at that. There's definitely some cool things going on there. Google is also testing site names and favicons in the web search image results. So when Google shows an image pack, It usually doesn't show any information about the image sources themselves, but Google is now testing showing favicons and the site name from that website, which I think is pretty cool, but it actually takes up more real estate. Google's also testing loading the people also ask in the footer section of the Google search results after you interact with the top people also ask. So you go to the footer, nothing's there. You scroll back up, you click on the people also ask, it expands, then you scroll back down and you'll see the people also ask dynamically load. This was spotted by Alex. Pretty cool find. I'm not sure if it's new, but it does seem new to me. Google Search has launched a new user interface for activating the augmented reality view in 3D product results. This was what came from Wayfair. This Brian spotted this on Twitter, and I'm able to replicate this myself. Pretty cool to see this in action. And I thought it was actually going away, but I guess not. Maybe it is sticking around. Google Business Profiles is testing an expandable menu because Google Business Profiles, the way you edit things now in Google Business Profiles is super confusing. You search for your business name, you type my business and in web search, and then your business profile comes up, and you have to do 1,000 clicks to edit anything. So now they're testing the ability to actually click and expand like a menu in web search to actually activate all the different features that you can actually enable in there. So this was actually spotted by Professor M in the local search forums. I think it's ugly, but I think it works better than the current solution, so who knows. Google has added Asian-owned business attributes for Google Business Profiles, so this includes a whole list of business profiles, so the Asian-owned is new this week, which is interesting, and you could also use this for things like obviously Asian-owned, Black-owned, LGBTQ+ owned, Latino-owned, veteran-owned, and women-owned. So those are the only attributes you could add to your business profile if you want to. It makes your business profile stand out more, which is great. Google Ads Editor and API now support discovery ads, which is pretty cool. Google Ads, they announced a bunch of different features for discovery ads last night, including the ability that it works with Google Ads Editor and the Google Ads API. The audience insights at the campaign levels work now for the Google Discover, and new supported images for text overlays now work there, plus a lot more, so definitely take a look at that. Google Business Listings is testing overlaying photos in the web interface. So instead of clicking on the photo from the web search results on the business profile and it taking you to Google Maps, and now it's keeping you there and overlaying those photos on that listing, which is also very, very cool. This was spotted by Sidney Gusson. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Google has launched a new tag, called the Google tag, as a simplified version, where it's kind of consolidating all the tags into a more simplified version, making it a little bit easier to use. The old Google Tag Manager features are going to continue to work, but eventually they're going to go away at some point because the Google Tag Manager, nothing's changing today, but it will probably change in the future. So definitely take a look at the new Google Tag. There are ways to implement those pretty quickly. Microsoft Advertising is rolling out a bunch of new features, that they announced this week, including automotive ads, which they had in beta, now is going to be fully rolled out in the near future. So if you do want to use automotive ads, you could definitely use those. Also, Microsoft's rolling out vertical-based ads and a lot more. Like it's available now in 64 markets. You can use them for dynamic remarketing, travel, automotive, and events. Video ads, you can now choose different bidding options for the video ads. They're piloting automated biddings, customer data platform integration with customer match. It just list goes on and on. So definitely take a look at that post because Microsoft is expanding a lot more and doing a lot more things there. And there's this interesting legal ruling related to Rumble versus Google, specifically YouTube, and which would actually potentially reveal some of Google's secret ranking algorithms to Rumble. I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen exactly. It's just interesting. You should definitely take a look at that. If you're interested, there was a lot of news about it. Just search for Rumble and Google and you will find it, or look at the article on my website over there. All right. In any event, thank you so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, SEOroundtable.com over the past week. Yes, I talk really fast. Again, thanks to Bruce Clay for sponsoring. Thank you so much. Deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate it, Bruce Clay. Definitely take a look at them at bruceclay.com and SEOtraining.com. In any event, everyone have a great weekend. Be safe, be healthy, and I'll see you guys next. Bye-bye.